It's kind of expected. We knew a bottom in the 60 to 70K range was imminent. We got there. Now we're holding. What's going to happen next? Well, we're going to talk about it, get into the TA, get to the charts, the fundamental analysis. I'm sure Andrew has got a topic for us today, but we're going to definitely be looking at what the state of the market is. This is the Novex crew, just doing what we got to do, baby. Trade talk. Let's get to it.
Yeah. From the basement charts to the blockchain hearts. Listen. Started out broke with a broke exchange, hidden fees in the code, everything felt strange. Every trade that I made, someone skimmed off top, like a hand in the pot when the beat just drop. I needed proof, not a promise in the pop-up bad. Tired graphs with a mask on, looking all bad. So I linked with the devs who could read that chain. Turn a loophole scam to a straight lace lane. Novex where the numbers talk back in real time. Every tick on a ledger in a clear line. You can trace every step like a shoe print. Whole history on display like a blueprint. No suit in the middle trying to take the share. Just code and the keys and the crowd in there. Grit in my voice, but the math stayed clean. Decentralized with the dream, now we built this machine. Novex got the block on lock. From the first little lot to the whale size stock. Put the keys in your hand, now the man on top. If the ledger say it hit, then you know it don't stop. Novex where the real ones trade. Every tick, every fill, every move we make. Transparent when the big banks fade. It's that new ground floor that the old world paid. I seen charts get cooked like a Sunday meal. Fake volume on the books, that synthetic feel. Central desk with a smile and a hidden clause. Hit accept and regret when you read those laws. Novex different, peer power in the protocol. Every node, every vote, every local call. No hush back door where the rules get bent. Just 1,000 little minds in a loud consent. You want yield, earn it with the risk you chose. Not a secret little lever that nobody knows. If the spread too wide, market make a slide. But the rules sit still while the bids collide. I keep my wallet in the palm of my own hand. 12 words tighter than a gold band. If I move, then the block, write the whole scene. Stamp it on chain like a tag on a clean jeans. Lock on lock from the first little lot to the whale size stock. Put the keys in your hand, not a man on top. If the ledger say it hit, then you know it don't stop. Novex where the real ones trade. Every tick, every fill, every move we made. Transparent when the big banks fade. It's that new ground floor that the whole world paid. You want trust? That's code you can read. You want speed? That's blocks at full speed. You want choice? Every pair, every seed. Whole globe in your screen. Whole fate in your deed. Loan the block to the bots. We align that spread. From the charts to the hearts. Put the lot up bed. If the math don't match what the suits just said, we let the hash speak loud for the crowd instead. I move smart, I don't chase green ghosts. I play stops where the fear live close. I stack game, little wins in a tight rope. Risk capped on the downside, light low. Novex taught me how to see that slip. How a tiny little cut make a whole ship tip. Now I scan every feed like a verse I wrote. If the bar don't add up, then the line get cut. We got charts on the phone, pools in the back, limit orders on the book where the depth stay fat. From the kid with a bill to the fun with a fleet. Same rules on the rail, same price on the sheet. It's that flip of the frame from the few to the crowd. From the closed velvet rope to the voices loud. I'm just one more mind and the net so wide. But the trade hit hard when the swarm decide. Novex got the block on lock. From the first little lot to the whale size stock. Put the keys in your hand, not a man on top. If the ledger say it hit, then you know it don't stop. Novex where the real. Where the real. Where the real. Where the real.
Top down, sun going on the chrome, I'm locked in. Whole squad talking about the charts, we tapped in. Novex in my pocket, that's the hotline. Turn a long week into a good sign. Used to clock in, clock out, same story. Scrolling on my phone, dreaming about a lane for me. Then I seen the candles, colors on the same screen. Game playing clean, feeling like a daydream. One tap, now I'm reading all the facts, that's grown talk. Money on a mission, I don't chase, I let it walk. Learn the levels, learn the risks, never rushing. Patience in the stash, now my future stay flushing. From the couch to the cloud, I was second guessing. Now I'm chart checking, every session is a lesson. Little win stack, that's compounding grace. Now I bring calm to a fast marketplace. Novex in my pocket, yeah, I move with ease. Smooth with the numbers like a West Coast breeze. From the lows to the highs, I just ride that wave. Turn a plan to a profit, watch the mindset raise. Novex in my pocket, put the fear on mute. Lay back, hustle with a long view route. If you feel that shift when the doubt gets loud, let the screen light up, we gon' break that cloud. Sunrise check, I ain't stressing at the open. Got a watch list built, every symbol got a motor. Wrist set tight, I ain't tryna chase hype. Discipline, drip, drip, that's a different type of life. I remember over trading, hands sweating on the pad. Now I breathe first, let the noise run past. Journal on the desk, every move, every reason. Turn loss into wisdom, that's a champion season. Group chat buzzing, everybody on the same road. Share a little game, pay it forward as it grows. See my cousin just start, eyes wide, heart heavy. Told him small size, big plan, keep steady. We don't gamble, we don't prey on the spike. We just study, set a limit, live life we like. Still barbecue, still laugh, still chill. But the future in the background, slowly getting filled. Novex in my pocket, yeah, I move with ease. Smooth with the numbers like a West Coast breeze. From the lows to the highs, I just ride that wave. Turn a plan to a profit, watch the mindset raise. Novex in my pocket, put the fear on mute. Lay back, hustle with a long view route. If you feel that shift when the doubt gets loud, let the screen light up, we gon' break that cloud. 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 More than green on the screen, it's a mind state. Mind state, mind state. We don't fold when the line shake. We just zoom out, see the whole play. From the first small buy to the first withdrawal, that's proof you can build from a little bit of all. Yeah, that's yours now. On your lane, on your route, staying tall. Yeah. OG turf, where they told us take what you can. Now it's playing what you keep, let it work in your hand. Neighborhood can see me scroll, asking what I'm watching. Just some candles and some patience, little bro, that's options. I ain't selling dreams, I'm just showing them the process. Tiny daily steps, same time, that's progress. It ain't overnight, but it's over time. And over doubt, over fear, over every old line. Now my mom more calm, bills paid on the first. I'm a toast to the charts that reverse that curse. Still the same me, white tee, same sneakers. But the balance say I leveled up the speaker. Look, if you lost, we can learn it together. Check the trend, check the news, check the look.
Yeah. Yeah. Late night, glare off the glass on the screen light. Wallet on sync and it feels right. Keys in my palm, I don't need mic, I need math. Feed from the stream like a bloodline. Order books open like a skyline. Every little tick got a story, let the chart shine. Click once, root through a mesh, not a main line. Peer to the pier, cut the waistline. Carved out fees, keep the steak, lead a thin rhyme. We built brick by brick, but it's cold blocks. Nobody knows, see the flow lock. Old doors closed, we just walk through the roadblocks. Novex on my mind when the blocks flip. Whole crowd plugged in when the clocks tick. New world in the cold, let the lock slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Hands up for the ones who were boxed in. Now the gate wide open, we are logged in. Novex in the air when the charts slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Fresh start, I don't ask who's behind that. I just see proof where the time at. Stamped on chain, let the facts do the combat. Street smart, numbers in my head like a drum line. Split second fills on the front line. Spread so tight, feel the slip on a flat line. Zoom out, you can see trends, not the scared talk. Every big shift start with small chalk. New rails laid where the slow trains deadlocked. I see kids in a room with a screen glow. Running test nets like it's free throw. Lines of code looped up, that's the cheat code. Novex on my mind when the blocks flip. Whole crowd plugged in when the clocks tick. New world in the code, let the locks slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Hands up for the ones who were boxed in. Now the gate wide open, we are locked in. Novex in the air when the charts slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. From the floor to the chain, we connected. From the dream to the screen, that's progression. Every node, every soul, that's a section of a bigger kind of net. Not a prison, that's a blessing. From the racks in the bag to the phone tap. From the facts, from the lag to the fast track. When the crowd on the rails, you can't hold back. Whole globe in the flow, let it snap back. Yeah, new day. All of these graphs like a mural. Color in the wrist, keep the cure full. Step through the noise, let the clear cut the hollow. We don't wait for a desk or a phone call. One swipe sign and the stones fall. Old tall walls feel small when the cold tall. Look close, you can see hearts in the hash rate. Little green dots on the map shape. Everyone posts like a drum in a jazz break. We hear bright eyes, never mind what the fears say. Every rough chart had a clear day. Every drawn line was a guess to the play. Novex on my mind when the block slip. Whole crowd plugged in when the clocks tick. New world in the cold, let the lock slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Hands up for the ones who were boxed in. Now the gate wide open, we are locked in. No vex in the air when the charge slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless.
My ears going that iPad.
Yeah.
Really good stuff, everybody. What's up? What's up? Hope you're having a great start to your day. Welcome to Trade Talk. This is a awesome start to the week. I have not woken up the day after a Super Bowl in a very long time and didn't watch a single play. What a relaxing weekend. Did nothing. Caught the big dump. Bought a bunch of spot and just kind of rode to profits all weekend long. What a great time to be alive, where you actually get a lot more than 10 Solana for $1,000. I told people if they loved it at 250, at 200, they were going to really be ecstatic in the 60s and 80s, which is exactly where we are today. The warning became a reality, and you can actually live good with that, man. So let's get to the rest of the crew, see what they got going on. As always, we are powered by Novex Finance, and that's an entity that consists of many of us, built by traders for traders. We got a bunch of cool stuff coming out, but we want to get to these charts. Let's tap in with the co-host, baby. Andrew, what's up, dog? How you doing?
Yo, what's good? I did watch the Super Bowl yesterday. I had a good time, man. I watched it with some friends I haven't seen in a while. So we enjoyed it. We didn't watch the halftime show. We were too busy catching up with each other. But I enjoyed the game. I wanted the Patriots to win. That didn't happen, but it was still a fun day for me. I had a good weekend. Hope everybody else did. But guys, this is Trade Talk. This is your first time here. Welcome. We do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're following me, Clutch, and everybody else up here. And make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Just because this goes out everywhere, man. It's on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, MySpace. No, we don't go to MySpace, but we're on Kick and Rumble too. So make sure you guys are subbed so you don't miss this, man. The way these episodes work, we stream a lot of stuff. We stream a lot of poker, we stream some video games, we stream a little bit of chess, but every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we get down on it, right? And these episodes are all about printing profits, staying ahead of the market, and just making it happen. So generally I do a quick check-in question, something for us to just keep a pulse on the market, and know where we're at, know where we're going, all that good stuff. And not many to check in with today, but we'll check in with those that are here. Then we'll throw it over to Clutch. He'll take a look at the charts. He'll let us know what he's seeing. He'll call a range for the next 2 days. He'll call a direction for the next 2 days. And then we'll try to call a trade for the episode. But, let me throw out my check-in question real quick. And then I'll tell you guys a little about Novex, and then we'll get into it. So my check-in question for the day is, I think it's undeniable that we're in bearish territory. I think you're starting to see some of the moon boys start to accept it. I think that's why not seeing people show up quite as much anymore. and then you're seeing that Michael Saylor and Strategy, aka MicroStrategy, are underwater, and so that kind of uh, ties into my check-in question for the day. Bear market, and probably what I've been calling for, predicting since last bear market, was that this one will be an extended bear market. What type of impacts do you guys think that's going to have on Michael Saylor's ability to raise capital? I think with a lot of this bull run being supported, a lot of the tops being blasted through by Saylor buying MicroStrategy, I think maybe we can expect the opposite in reverse, where maybe some of the bottoms can be determined at times by MicroStrategy to stop some of this fall. But again, that is tied to how much capital and how easy will it be for Michael Saylor to continue to raise capital. So do you guys think it's gonna, they'll keep being able to raise it because wealthy people should be pretty sharp and know that dips are for buying, or is strategy just another FOMO product? Right? I don't know. I think it's something interesting to pay attention to. But guys, let me tell you about Novex real quick. Novex is the people's exchange. It was built for traders, for traders. Me, Clutch, Goes. We work with all the major exchanges. We've had affiliate deals with them. And there's a lot of stuff we liked about those exchanges, and there's some stuff at the end of the day, when it comes down to anything in crypto, the rule is not your keys, not your cheese. And that's why we've always been big on decentralized exchanges in general. So that's why we launched Novex, right? We took everything we liked about those other exchanges and threw out everything we didn't like. And that's how we launched Novex. And the beauty about Novex, man, is that as a whole, our traders on the platform are winning. And that's not something that you see on other platforms, but there's a reason you see that on Novex. And one reason is that we do this trade talk every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are liking and subbing, making sure you're tuning in and not miss from every other platform and every platform whatever platform you're tuning in from. But more importantly, the reason regardless of where you're tuning in from, jump in the Telegram. That is the alpha. Yeah, you got a bunch of sharing alpha on a daily basis. People the hand holding they need to be successful in trading. I think Clutch might even be cooking up some extra lessons in there. I know he put out a post the other day talking about doing that. There was enough interest. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have enough interest. And if you're jump in the TG and let us know. we'll start extra trading lessons and stuff. So yeah, guys, get in the TG. Check out Novex. It's the exchange to trade on, baby. But guys, let's get into it today. Let's get into the week. Let's find some profits. What do you guys think is going to happen to Michael G, aka MicroStrategy, ability to raise money during the bearish times? They pushed us through so many tops. I think we're gonna have to count on them to be a part of stock fall at some point in time. Do you guys think that they're gonna continue to be able to raise money because wealthy people know dips are for buying, or do we see them start and then maybe that even impact Bitcoin a bit? And maybe even leave that extended bear market I've been talking about. But the homie Alex over in UK this morning. Alex, how you doing, bro? How was your weekend? How'd it feel to watch a real American sport, real fall? And what do you think about, and Michael Saylor's ability to be able to buy raise money during this bear market?
Yeah, I'm good. I had a good weekend, mostly sleeping, and then I was loading up on beer and curry for the Super Bowl. I managed to fall asleep 5 minutes in, but it was good. I really enjoyed American soccer ball. It's a really interesting sport where guys jump at each other and play with balls. So it's nice. I kind of think, Michael's. I think he's got the ultimate Ponzi scheme. He'll be able to raise money. A lot of rich people are stupid, so he'll be able to keep fucking raising money to people buying into strategy, and then he can buy Bitcoin with that. Actually, I was on a space with the Cardone brothers, and their knowledge of Bitcoin is quite shocking. But I think he'll still be able to raise money for his Ponzi scheme for sure. But
you
how would
bring up
you?
a good
Hmm?
you bring up a great point about the Cardone brothers, man. I remember when Grant didn't know anything about Bitcoin and thought it was trash. And now it seems like he's going all in on it and actually doing some cool stuff himself. So that may be, you might be right. That may be signaling that, man, wealthy people are still looking to buy this up during the dip. Cause I know he's launching a real estate fund that like is going to be tied to Bitcoin, and like they're using the profits from the property to buy Bitcoin or something like that. Like it was a pretty cool idea. I can't remember it exactly right now though.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna make his own Ponzi scheme, like strategy, and do the grift. That's why he's been doing a lot of spaces over the last couple of months.
That makes sense. Why wouldn't you make your own Ponzi with your grant?
Exactly. If you've got enough money, you can make your own Ponzi scheme for sure. And we love Ponzinomics here at
Good to hear.
Novex.
Good to hear from you, Alex. Man, I bet that curry you had this week. Let's check in with Massimo. Massimo, how was your Super Bowl? I have a feeling you didn't have curry at your Super Bowl party, but how was your weekend, bro? How you doing? And what do you think is going to happen with MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor's ability to raise funds during this bear market? You think they're going to be able to keep cranking them in, or you think they're going to struggle?
Oh man, good weekend. I did not catch much of the Super Bowl until the second half yesterday. Had a little surprise pop up with a job that I need finished, and all of a sudden the people are coming back from vacation 2 days earlier. So I do what I got to do, man. But no, it was good weekend. Single parenting, Sunday until Thursday. So just me and the ladies. But as far as Michael Saylor and them go, well, look, first of all, I think part of the, you know, I think part of this dump is strategic in order to load at these lower levels. But regardless if there's any truth to that or not, one thing can be for sure, and that is big money in the deep pockets. They're not going to miss an opportunity to load at some of these cheap levels once we reach the actual bottom. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be an issue. I also think that this was foreseen. And whether or not people had inside information, again, it's another topic, another conversation. But yeah, I think big money is certainly not going to miss out on buying the dip on crypto when you have one of the bullish crypto presidents in office, for years more.
Another good point actually with Trump that I guess I hadn't really considered too much when I was throwing this topic together this morning. That yeah, dude, I think Trump is really going to push some of these wealthy to keep buying crypto. But man, I mean, like, all these people are supposed to be buying, but it feels like the dip is still coming. you know. So I'm curious. I think one we do see happen, or what I think is that strategy does have going for them, that actually could lead to them being very, very successful, is now they're starting to focus on building out infrastructure, and all it takes is just having like you becoming like the Google of Bitcoin, or whatever that it looks like, right? It's Google, but you becoming that top thing built app on Bitcoin. That's going to be huge for them, I think. So I do think they're going to have some potential to raise some money. I'm still just in the belief that there's going to be an extended bear market, just because so many people have lost so much money, and then it's not good. There's a liquidity crisis across the globe because it feels like everybody's broke. But I think you guys are making some great points here.
One
What do you think
thing.
about all this, man? Oh, go ahead, Massimo.
Oh, sorry. I just was going to say one thing that I'm sure people have noticed, but I don't know if they've made the correlation yet. Right? Like these platforms, they are doing everything in their power to make it as easy as possible. All right, for more liquidity to be added into the crypto. Like, look at there's an announcement
That
the other
is
day
true.
that pretty soon you're going to be able to use your Klarna account to buy crypto on some of these platforms. And you know how that works? You go into a Klarna account. They basically everyone that has a social security number is going to get $500. Right. Well, so what happens? That everyone jumps in there and you got these crypto bros like, oh hell yeah, buy the dip, buy the dip. They put $500 in there, and then what? Like, you know, they got to start paying that back, and it's only worth 300.
Yeah, that's a lot of
It's
extra
like
liquidity.
I'm just saying, like that. I mean, at the end of the day, there's two things for certain. They're going to do everything they can to get as much make it as easy as possible for as much liquidity to get in there. And yes, it certainly is.
Looks like we lost him. He was
Oh, I thought it
spitting.
was me. I thought it was me. I was like, dang.
He was spitting.
I hadn't considered. I hadn't thing to be honest, but that actually is pretty interesting too.
Yeah, bro. It's kind of like the whole financing your Chipotle freaking lunch combo, The Klarna thing is very, very. What up, Massimo? You back?
Oh, sorry, I thought my mic was off. My bad.
Yeah, well, you were talking and you just fell off. But anyhow. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. I hadn't even fully considered the micro strategy. He's down what, 15% now? What was his average price, Andrew?
I think it was 77 or something like that.
I think this
Oh, okay, so
they bought the dip though, so they're a little lower now.
that's why we didn't fall away. Okay, that makes sense. He actually stopped it then. He put enough orders with that at 60K. That must have been him. Makes perfect sense why we didn't wick to the 50s. And I didn't, if you recall, I didn't expect us to lose 60 on the first rodeo. And so far, that just kind of worked out exactly how I predicted with that. This is just kind of like the motion, right? Yeah, they open the faucet and the water's coming out how it's supposed to. If the water is coming out in spurts, right, something's going on. But this just feels super structured, if I'm being honest. I'm over here looking at trying to figure out. So like what would he do? Like at what point is liquidation? Like there's just so much depth to this conversation to really try to figure out like the full details of what it would entail, because you can't just liquidate him. He's not, over levered. So this is just kind of a man. Makes sense why the fear and greed's 9. That's all I'm gonna say. What have you dug up on that, Andrew?
And I missed
Oh,
that
that's
last little
Smith.
bit you said.
I said, what have you dug into what Michael Saylor is up to? Because at some point, right, he's got to start really considering, what could happen outside of the crypto markets, because there's no liquidation. He's holding the assets. He's not leveraging them. The problem's going to be his outside company and when the board and investors and all that want to pull. So, like, have you looked at any of that stuff, any of those details?
The the one concern that they have is that they yeah, like you said, they can't get liquidated, but the problem is if people want to sell off their their owed or whatever, well then Michael Saylor would have to sell off to cover some of these the fees or whatever from how the money's leveraged, because they guarantee a certain return, I think, with some of these shares. So that's the concern. But what they're up to is, I believe, what they're doing is they're building something that's supposed to specialize in wallet recovery. That's what they're trying to build now, apparently. So I haven't dug into it too much. I was kind of just like thinking about in general, like, man, just eventually, like, we talked about it a couple times on here, but it's like, how much money is there for them to raise for real, and how long are these people going to keep giving them money? So like, I'll have to I'll make sure I'll do a deep dive on the specifically what they're doing with what they're building out and how they plan it to work, so we can maybe talk about that next time. But yeah, I hadn't really dug into it. I was more so kind of just looking at like the money, and looking at their last purchase and stuff, and being like, all right, how long can this?
Yeah, for sure. I it makes sense that they're the ones that would have bought here. So let's look at some quick market data here. Hot mic. Anyways, coin market cap, right? Just gives you the basics. Bitcoin's under 1.5 trillion and healthily under 1.5. They're at 1.4. Next thing, we're at 2.36 trillion market cap, and that's obviously not that good. We did get lower. We were down in the under 2.2, but we can get there extremely quick. Next thing I'm noticing, the fear and greed. There's no greed coming on here. There's nothing to be greedy about. And that, I think that's a big telling sign. Altcoin season being 23 still tells you that, hey, they don't necessarily believe in altcoin season, but alts are definitely going to give you some good returns in moments like this where the market just capitulates. The issue is trying to time the bottom of when to buy. So if you don't want to worry about that, then what you obviously start doing is you start DCA and not aping your whole frickin' port into your favorite trash alt of choice. For me, my favorite trash coin is Solana, under 50 billion now on the market cap. That's a big deal. USDC has now surpassed it. Tether has now climbed back into the top three. Obviously that's happened over the last few weeks, but I'm curious to see at what moment will Tether flip Ethereum again. It used to be above it, you know, and that could be a tell of when we feel the market is done. Everyone thinks it's over because they now look and see Tether, number two. But to me, those are the moments that actually tell us, that there's actually a lot of value prop right there in the market to start buying, because look at it like this: Tether has no reason to be infinite and to infinitely go up. There's no reason for it. It's facilitated, it's printed, it's created. Therefore, the only way to make money with it is to go risk on with it. So right now that it's going risk off, it's at some point they're going to reverse that because you earn off the spread. Most people holding the largest amount of tether in their accounts are the ones that provide liquidity both sides, longs and shorts. So anything that you're doing, anything that you're buying with crypto, you're onboarding, tether first. So to me, I'm kind of looking at near the bottom or the total bottom where I can see, about another maybe a little less than a trillion getting wiped. But let's just say we get 500 billion worth of wipings here. Man, 60% of that, just because of the percentages, will come off of Bitcoin. So that puts us at around 800 billion, little less than a trillion Bitcoin. Ethereum at that point, you got to know that Ethereum is going to get eviscerated and it's probably going to lose close to 40%. That 40% drop off in total value of it would really see Ethereum in the 150 range, 100 range, which would make sense around a 6 to 1, 7 to 1 ratio to Bitcoin, and then that will give Tether solid number 2 spot in the rankings here, with USDC not falling too far behind at 72 billion dollars. So when you combine Tether and USDC alone, you are now seeing that $250 billion are in stables right now. That's a big deal, right? And we've been on top of tracking this move, so these numbers really do matter. Number 2, why it matters. Well, sorry, I'm just closing my coffee here, making sure I don't spill. But why it matters here, guys, very important. Remember, I was going through the top 20 and just making fun of the list? How do you like it now? Cardano's outside of the top 10 finally. That vaporware is under 10 billion. Dogecoin under 20. Tron still somehow there, but that's over their stable contracts that they've gotten. And then from there, the ones that somewhat do belong there. Solana belongs there. Obviously, USDC is going to be there. BNB has the inflows and the liquidity, but there's just a bunch of criminals over there at Binance. XRP has all the normies. No one has onboarded more normies than XRP, and it makes sense why normie money is still here. Like, just looking at this trash here, when you look at it just kind of over the last year, I mean, it's just been just a steady decline, right? Even with the pumps that it got in, it just really wasn't anything too serious. So, from there, you got obviously Ethereum and the EVM chains.
That
Bitcoin
is
is a
kind of
stored
funny
out.
that XRP has onboarded more normies than anybody. You got to kind of give them some credit.
Oh, 100%. I make fun of it a lot less than Cardano because of that. Cardano, this is just exit liquidity. This is like politicians and people that were told by Charlie to their face, yeah, dude, we're the future of finance, dude. Once we get going, Bitcoin will go to zero. Okay. Absolute trash. Hyperliquid's got the DEX trading on chain, right? So like they're still controlling that. They gave a lot of money away, so they belong in the 12th simply because of that. Let's not forget what happened to Jupiter, and people that give out that much money doesn't mean you make it during the bear market. And now Jupiter's in that under 20-cent range, which is just crazy. Eunice again. What is Eunice? We tried looking through it last time, and dude, trash. Athena USDE, obviously that's just a stable. So add another, few $1 billion of stable money there. You got Bitcoin Cash. I forgot to say, I wonder when the last time Bitcoin Cash was top 10. It will probably come down to where Bitcoin Cash only makes the top 10 in the bear markets. Uh, if anybody has time, go to Grok real fast and ask it. Historically, when has Bitcoin Cash been top 10 in the total market cap of crypto? And it's probably going to be during these times, right? So, like, what the heck is this? Canton? Monero still here? Die, World Liberty Fi?
Kind of hard to have historical data like that because it was launched during the bull market, so it's really only had a couple bear markets, and one of them it was in the top 10 by default.
Right. And then the last 2 bear markets, it made it to top 10. So yeah, that we're making history, right? And then look at what rounds up the top 20. And this is why I warned you guys, dog, that top 20 list told me everything I needed to know. They are going to wipe this freaking slate clean. And they did. So much so that look at those players that were in the top 10, 12, 14, Stellar, Litecoin, Zcash made his way up there. Hedera was top 15 for a minute. AVAX, of course, this is where AVAX belongs, top 25. It just hasn't moved. $9 for AVAX. That might not be that bad of a deal, but my goodness, AVAX hasn't. It's just staled. I will say once they started talking to whales like Amy Street, AVAX did nothing. Coincidence? I don't know. But just a lot of stables. Look at Sui. Where's all your favorite influencers that were telling you to just go all in on Sui? Better tech than Solana. It's faster. Blah 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 blah. My goodness, falling and falling bad. The concerning one, Andrew, and when I was going through this list and I planned it in my head to talk, all I can think about and plan to talk about what is going on with with Shiba Inu. And the reason why that's important, SHIB has been where Bitcoiners have rotated their money. They're not doing so no more. There's only $3 billion. They have A, either found another honey hole, or B, we are quick, fast, and in a hurry shooing off OGs that believed in things like SHIB and Doge. Doge is over here quickly falling down as well, with it being at 16% now. So there's just, quite a bit of stuff here going on. Hold on, something's beeping. What is that? All right. Can you guys hear me? Mic check.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. All right. I was like, what was that beeping? That was my router. Please don't turn off, router. Please.
For that was your
That was
dinner, man.
close. Dude, I love that warning on my router. Anyways, but yeah, guys. So to me, the dangerous part is that those coins, man, were kind of a signal of the health of the diamond hand chads. Andrew, do you know where I'm going? Do you feel where I'm going with this? And this is a very concerning situation, and obviously people are going to say, well, there's Pepe, there's other memes, there's this, there's that. But the reality is none of those were trusted in the same way. Everyone knew those were all exit liquidity plays. So, for me, it's a real concerning part. Have you guys, heard anything from the SHIB army in any shape, form, or fashion? Anybody? No? Okay. You see? This is what I'm saying. The space is so dead. We don't even have topics that stay alive long enough. People are looking at like, oh crap, what's gonna fall next? All I'm gonna say, guys, is it doesn't look healthy. Doesn't look healthy at all. I want to share my charts, obviously. Let me go here, pop up trading view. And this is really gonna be a nice little fun ride. So for starters, man, I really do enjoy, the charts and what they have provided. And, for starters, I want to look at Pumpy Dumpy. So on the weekly, we're finally seeing some red. It's freaking awesome, right? Because we know on a monthly wise, we are absolutely raging 7 months in a row of green candles. A good reversal could be us sending this candle red, negative, and really taking Pumpy Dumpy by control. Horns here, and we can ride it back to that lifetime trend. At the very least, that's super hopium. But at the very least, we want to bounce off of a zone that was so incredibly hard to break. You've seen it here, you've seen it here, and obviously the big consolidation there that really lasted. So, there's quite a bit, of things that are still left potentially to happen on this chart. And part of that really comes down to when will this monthly surge end? So we want to go start trying to catch it So I've been looking at weekly, I've been looking at two, just kind of going, through all the charts to look at all these crosses that have already happened. So along the way, I start getting myself to the 8 and 12-hour chart on Pumpy Dumpy, and this is where we have a little bit of hopium, at least for an immediate relief rally, which we have been getting, right? Since that big old drop off, it's been good to just have bought those bottoms. For starters, right to our predictory line. I mean, dude, we missed that thing by, you know, a couple points, man. This is honestly like if I were to see how much percentage wise I missed by, look at that. Freaking crazy, dude. I came within 4% of the top of this wave. My goodness, so insane. Anyways, so from the 8 hours where you start seeing we've lost the eight, so then you start tracking the bearish momentum, which lands you on the 6 hour chart. On the 6 hour chart, you saw that we rejected. We are now right at the 21 below it. We want to start curving the eight and start getting this bearish momentum towards the downside so we can continue on these spot buys and longs that we went in at the bottom. By the way, we do have my sub chat and the name is Bottom Blaster. So I have a few times gone on there and on our Telegram and just warned like, hey, we buy the fear. Let everyone else sell the fear. We buy it. 4 hour chart, you start seeing that the scary part of that 6 hour chart that we're waiting for some form of reversal. Here we got the eight crossing underneath the 21, and we haven't really gone anywhere. So now we're here and formulating higher lows. This does not look good. Next leg potential feels like it could come, and it would make sense testing out that breakout that we really didn't test. We went there, market nuked, and then that's it. We never tested it. So, looking at what's left to see, you start looking that, okay, we're above the 1 hour, bearish crossing here. Cool. So, we're going on an immediate little rally here. Not bad, right? But it feels like it's almost over. On the 30-minute, you're below the 200 and you got the triple cross action to the downside. That's potential. So, we now found for those people trading right now, we now found the area that's really important, and that's the 30-minute on Pumpy Dumpy. Therefore, the 30 and the 15-minute charts are going to be super, super important across the board. And as we're saying that, look at Pumpy Dumpy on the 15. Triple cross looks like it's about to fully finish. It's holding on. If it chooses to have a higher low here, because look at it, it is accumulating, right? It wicked on a low there, but now this is higher, right? So could it be that it bounces up, comes back to another low here, comes back, and then comes back to another low here? Like this is one of the things you got to really start identifying and catching before it actually happens. So, anyways, this is all, pretty cool stuff, right? So by looking at Pumpy Dumpy is telling us that, okay, there's a lot of potential. But my goodness, that 4 hour plus is starting to really these dumps, and it's looking like it's getting ready to go on the next leg to the top. We have not seen the 4 hour 50. We've wicked towards it. That's the area where I would really be looking to short again when you see that 4 hour 50 tested. For now, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to say buy or sell from this point on. So we're really looking at where to go from here. So next thing is we're going to go to the daily on the CME chart for Bitcoin. Very, very important. As always, we have a big old gap. What a coincidence that after the big old drop off, the big old wick into 60K, which we expected, and now it's eating it, and now it's holding on, and now it's extremely close to heading towards that CME gap. Why would the market makers send the market to 20, 30, 40, 50K Bitcoin when there's still a lot more to grab in this pocket? So pay attention to the CME gap. What that tells you is not that you're safe on a long, it just means that shorts right now, you don't have to sit there and overhold a short. Why? Holding on to a short, if you're in profit here, while they bounce it to close the gap makes no sense, right? So as you see green, take your green on the red candles now. The danger part is for the daily, we are in extreme volatility. Last time we've had extreme volatility, it ended up loading up till we ended up having this big old drop off. So you really look at areas of no volatility and extreme volatility to really kind of see what's going to happen here. But usually those signs are tells. No volatility or too much volatility leads to reversals because at that point they run out. High volatility happens, it starts curling, market makers send it the other way, when they extract and get rid of all the buyers. So for us, CME gap really controls the action. It's why we bought 60K Bitcoin, because we understood that gap was there. Nothing straight down forever. Even in the nastiest of dumps, like you've seen here, October 10th, liquidation day, it's hard not to recognize it. Look at that. The single nastiest liquidation day in the history of Bitcoin. And look how much further down we've gone from there. It's just happened steadily instead of just one big nasty candle, but the result's the same. If you're put up on game, you start accumulating in the right spots, and you, just like a lot of us, we sold all above these zones. There's no reason to hold. Bitcoin futures, okay? So we know the 30-minute and 15 minutes are very important. This is why it is, and it lines up. 30-minute, we are past the 200. We are at a lower high still. We finally have bullish momentum here, which here gave us almost a triple cross, not the 50, and then we nuked, right? So the 30-minute chart is the tell, and the 50 going above the 200 this time. If it rejects just like here, we might see this candle kind of end up at these little levels, give you a lower high, and freaking dump nastily. So here's where I would be paying attention for all this cross action to see if it's actually going to happen. And on the 15-minute, makes sense, right? The exact same thing. Last time it did give us the triple cross and we went on a pump. We went on a higher low, right? You start identifying things, right? These are higher lows, right? So, in saying that, this next test, I would be looking to, at the very least, test this wick here. So, heading towards that 72K zone seems to be probable here, but really, it's breaking the previous low that was an all-time high. To break the swing high, being higher, was this peak here. So when you're paying attention to the charts and you don't want to fall for a false breakout that goes here, right here, you haven't really done anything. You haven't really broken the downtrend, right? So you really want to pay attention to leaving this little area here. Next thing, you can kind of track the big downtrend that you've seen, and you can go to the 1 hour to see this. Okay. Go to a trend. And this is the trend that you're breaking or that you're attempting. So here you essentially have to break above this trend. Oops. You have to break above this trend, right? So if we go to the 15-minute, all right, notice how I was saying you got to go above these highs, right? Look at this, because this was the fake out and it went here. Look how that lines up with that trend. You see? So, anyways, quick little basic lesson for you on how to identify these little zones and just kind of play a little fun little scalps there. But now you kind of see how we set up these positions. You always want to understand where you are. 5-minute triple action happening, which means the 15-minute triple action cross is going to happen, which means the 30-minute has a chance to finally break up above and more than likely head to the 1 hour 200, right? And you see how the 1 hour 200 breaking that would be those lows that we were talking about. You see, it went there, rejected, but it's these, all this pocket right here that you want to see it, because this was the high that it broke. Look at that. You see, so you want to see the 1 hour 200. So this little cursor, so set, this little range that you want to break, it's probably the 2 hour 200. Yep, sure enough, right? So your tail is going to be on that bounce. This is where I'm looking to take profits. The 4 hour as well. You can look at the 50, but really it's the 2 hour 200 that I feel real comfortable taking, because pumpy dumpy on 2 hours, we know that if the 4 hour goes to the 50, then pumpy dumpy on the 2 hour should head generally towards this 200, but a real big, you know, drop off to, to the 7.5 level is the levels where I really want to start looking to enter along, as they typically don't go touch the 200 on the first try. Look how long it's been since we've touched the 200, and those bounces were freaking crazy. So I expect a higher low here somewhere that will correlate with some form of trend looking like this, like from like here, like there, something like that, right? Because then you see you get that bounce there, boom, you can start playing the action there. But Pumpy Dumpy's looking dangerous. CME has a gap to the upside, which should neutralize Pumpy Dumpy and giving us a good little retrace. Solana, 5 day, it's the front run. Check it. 5 day, 21 already crossed underneath the 200, and here comes the 50. Solana could front running a massive, massive dump. 3 day, all the triple action already happened. You see this? So when we go to Bitcoin and we go to the 5 day, you'll see how different it looks. On the 5 day, dude, we've got a no crosses. Look at this. The 8's barely coming. The 21 is coming. And then the 50, but they're starting to point 6 o'clock, which is that danger that we caught on Solana and other charts. But, anyways, so with what we're looking at here, look at the 3 day, barely getting the crosses, right? 8 and 21. Solana already got the triple crosses. 50 still coming. So it's that 5 day chart that really scares me, because if this 5 day on Bitcoin looks like it wants to hold and make its way to the 200, but on Solana, on the 5 day, it's looking like the market's about to go on one more leg down. Come touch this trend for Solana, and Solana should find insane support off of its bear market bottoms. Real trend here. I expect to see bounces at these levels. I think Solana is loading up to give us $50 to $60. That's why it's front running this move. So at some point, this 5 day does not look the same everywhere else. Check it out. 5 day here on Ethereum, just starting to happen. The party's just beginning, right? 3 day, again, it's happening though. Bitcoin's hasn't. But notice Ethereum is closer to this cross than is Bitcoin, meaning ultra front running the dumps. Alts are going to lower levels while Bitcoin's holding. Bitcoin's moves take a long time to happen, but when they do, it happens. So, anyways, now let's go to Pumpy Dumpy on the 5 day. And I'll land my L with this, or I'll land my plane with this. The 5 day is dangerous, but it's cooling down. All crosses happen already. Okay. So usually when all that's happened, people start looking at upcoming crosses and they say no more. So it's over. We should probably just, short this chart or long the market uncontrollably. Well, I would be careful because of those front running actors that possess a large amount of liquidity, and both of them are front running lower. Typically, without bearish crossing, they go the other way to allow liquidity to build. And that's what you're seeing. Look at the white rabbit moving. volatility up. Everyone's buying it. Everyone bought it up here. Well, that's the danger sign, and why I feel it's truly something big is on its way. We already saw something big. Now we're just going to see something bigger. Kind of like the Brits. You saw a bigger sport with more viewers. But I will say this, I didn't watch the game. And from the sounds of it, that game was actually quite terrible. No points by the Patriots until the fourth quarter. Oh, yeah, real competitive game, all right. But, anyways, this was Trey Talk. Anyone else has anything to add? Any sentiment, Andrew? The rest of the guys, go ahead. Nothing? Okay, sounds good. Left y'all
Oh, can
speechless. That's all.
you hear me?
No, I can hear you now.
Oh, I was saying market sentiment for me to add at the moment. I think you nailed it as always, but just want to let everybody know I'll probably be streaming poker here in a couple hours, so make sure you tune in.
And just to say, the World Cup got what 3 billion people watched it compared to the Super Bowl that was only watched by 200 million. So much bigger sport, of course. American soccer ball.
I'm a soccer fan over American football all day long. So you're not gonna, get any flack from me on that take. The World Cup has more worldwide fans, more money, all that fun stuff. But whatever. Yesterday
But
we were let down by the NFL. They gave
did
us
you
games.
enjoy the halftime show?
I didn't watch it. Did he wear a dress?
No, he didn't wear a dress.
Was he normal or did he like do some weird, creepy stuff?
I don't know. Andrew, you watched. What happened, man? I saw him dancing in like a white
I
suit.
didn't really watch the halftime show. I was just hanging out with some friends, but he didn't wear a
Dude, it was
dress.
a
I don't
joke.
think.
Okay.
I saw clips of pieces of it. Like they couldn't have given a middle finger to America more, in my opinion. Like, hey, yes, I understand. There's a nice beat and it's good. It's feel good, but you listen to the lyrics, and then the entire time it just was basically like throwing a middle finger to everything going on, trying to clean up our country. So, yeah, I didn't appreciate it. The clips that I saw, but it's also why I didn't watch much of the Super Bowl or any of the halftime show. Really.
Yeah. The closest I came to watching the Super Bowl, I checked the score 4 times. At the end of the first quarter, at the end of halftime, at the end of the third quarter, and then when the game ended, probably a few hours later, I was like, "Wait, the game's over. Who won?" More than likely to see because it was what 12-0 at the end of the third quarter. So yeah, I was like, "Yo!" I even told my kids, I was like, "We missed 4 field goals. We missed nothing at all. Back to what we're doing." It was just a beautiful, awesome, chill day. We organized the yard and all that stuff, and we just had time to all that. I'm surprised they didn't show up, bro, and like a crowd, like signaling, like protesting, and then a bunch of cops and ICE agents, and then like them getting arrested, not arresting the illegals, but arresting the ICE agents, like some crazy like that. And I know, like, there were kind of a lot of people been talking about how Puerto Ricans aren't treated fairly in America, that they're supposed to be American, but they're not treated as Americans. Here's a tip from a Mexican. Maybe you shouldn't rock the Dominican Republic and the Puerto Rican flag more than the American flag. How about next time you put the Dominican Republic or the Puerto Rican flags, in front of your house, you actually pair it with a nice red, white, and blue American eagle, in there. You don't see me rocking the Mexican flag before I would rock the American flag. And I was born in Mexico. If you want to be considered an American, how about you start freaking acting like an American? and stop saying and doing things that alienate yourself as a culture and as a group of people, right? When you clearly don't care about America. I know a lot of Mexicans that don't give a damn about America. They want to earn a paycheck and send it to Mexico where it goes farther, work until they can't work no more or get any more free crap from this country, and then dip to Mexico as old people. So it's not always what you think. And yeah, the NFL has really been one of those sports that wants to just get super political, and they've done it a lot less recently, but that's just because it's MAGA country right now with Trump. But as soon as there's a liberal Democratic president, now the NFL goes back to being woke ass freaking wannabes. Yeah, keep kneeling,
So,
Kaepernick.
so Clutch, I actually spent some time in Puerto Rico. I played in the pro beach volleyball tour there, and one of my teammates and best friends was, I mean, he grew up there. Um, they are an unbelievably prideful island. I mean, unbelievable pride. And honestly, they have like, it's a lot like America in the sense that, they have people that feel, both sides of the spectrum. When I started to notice the shift and the change in, I have handfuls of friends and people that I still, maintain relationships with there. When things started to change was COVID. They had a very democratic leader, and she did everything in her power during I'm sorry, not COVID. Well, it was COVID when it even further, but it was the hurricane prior to COVID. And basically she made it seem like Trump was doing nothing for Puerto Rico. And again, I was probably like, "Hey, don't speak about things you don't know about." No, 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 no. I still am very close, and I was very close with my buddy who was a business owner there, and we were talking. He was like, "It's ridiculous." He's like, there's basically creating feud by trying to make it sound like no aid's coming, this and that. Like, but there was shit tons of aid during that time. It just, political games, and unfortunately, when that happened, a lot of people never shifted back. Um, but no, man, it's a beautiful, beautiful island, beautiful people. But yeah, they love to see some more American pride there. That's for sure.
Yep. America first is all I'm saying, bro. There's absolutely nothing wrong with what I said. Love your freaking Cubano coffee, love your Cubano sandwich, but if you're in America in Miami, screw Cuba. They ain't trying to do anything for your ass. America is. That's my point. It don't matter where you're from. Oh, you Chinese, huh? Screw China. You Russian? Get your ass back to Russia then. No, you're in America? How about you and your Italian family? Screw Italy if it comes down to who's first, America or Italy. It's freaking America, baby. You know
Not
what I'm
even a
saying?
question.
Right. That's my point. And you have to have American pride. And no one says don't have pride in your culture. Don't love your culture, but understand that your culture is not the freaking supreme world leader of freedom and Western civilization. No other country has done what we even accomplished, which is give us a chance to actually be free. And now they're trying to take us back by bringing us old world freaking psyche and mentality, which is, hey, rock your flag, dude. You know what I'm saying? No, look at your dark ass, dude. You're not American, bro. You know what I'm saying? Be prideful with your stuff. Freaking people, bro. Don't fall for that crap. That's why when it comes to the charts, I don't fall for that crap. I look at what the chart actually tells you, because they show you some stuff. It tries to like send you in different directions. And like to me, culture and stuff like that, bro, it's no different, dude. They'll tell you a bunch of stuff. But if your culture was that great, it would be the supreme leader of the freaking world. Beepity boppity. Let's freaking wrap it up, baby. Anyone else got something you want to add there? How about you, Mr. UK, Mr. Frenchman? Yeah, bow down to America. We all know this. It is what it is. We have no choice. We don't make the rules. The world made the rules.
The banks make the rules, don't they?
Exactly.
Huh?
And who owns American banks? The freaking Brits. So that's why the Brits laugh in the background because they know who really controls all this bestiality and nastiness that goes on in the world. Frickin' Brits are crazy bastards. You don't mess with the Brits. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
they're crazy.
So,
Yeah.
we've got fucking samurai swords and shit here, man.
No, dude, these fools are crazy, bro. They eat bland food every day of their lives, dude. That will make you go insane. Damn, cooked, dude, cooked in the crock pot. Jeez, we just figured out why Brits are so brutal. They'll stab you looking at you in the eyes because they ate a terrible breakfast.
They're
Yo,
so constipated that they just fucking want to kill someone.
bro, let's save the UK. Massimo, let's go open up a soup kitchen, bro, and we'll just some green salsa and some chips, bro. Some nice starter pasta, dishes, bro. And I think
I
we'll
don't know,
change
man.
that
They
gloominess
might be
in that country.
lost. If it wasn't for Alex, I would have lost all hope. But
Oh.
because of you, bro, I still have hope for your country.
Oh, thank you.
So look, scientifically speaking, okay, you just got science, or you will be scienced here, and I'm gonna, land my plane on this, play a song, and get us out of here. But there's a reason why it's always gray and gloomy in the UK. It's from all the tears that they constantly cry, and the condensation just creates a ton of clouds. So they live in this perennial state of gloominess. Enjoy. Reach out to a friend in London. Let him know you care. Let him know you're here for him. You're Novex, baby.
Open up the screen, blocks of color, living stream. Every wallet, every dream, plugged into the same bright beam. Orders in the air, I can feel the ledger swear. Every number, every share stays exactly how you care. From the cold night staring at a chart alone, to 1,000 voices on a single note. I was chasing signals on a borrowed road. Now the keys sit heavy in my private code. This is no